The land along the Kong River was once a thriving empire. However, over time this great empire has faded. But as for the traditional practices of the people, it can be said that this area is their cradle of civilization. Tie weaving has been around since ancient times. Over this time, they have developed methods of weaving, dyeing, and painting. Northeast fabric is unique in that it is easily identified by the materials, weaving methods, and patterns. The mud mee fabric is especially identifiable, with its beautiful patterns made first by tying and then dyeing to make it colourful before its weaving. The folk handicraft of mud mee have been widely available throughout the northeast region for a long time. Ban Hua Phai in Khon Kaen province inherited its wisdom of sericulture and silk weaving from their ancestors as a way to increase revenue and also make the city famous. To create silk, it is important to first make a home for the silkworm. The best is a mulberry plant. It has large thick leaves that shed slowly. Good nutrients are highly suitable for the silkworm to help them become disease resistant. Keep some of the leaves in order to keep the crop to feed the people. In the past, Thai silkworm is a species that the farmers most commonly used for the production of silk. In time, however, the Thai silkworm has been mixed with foreign species in order to create stronger and more durable silk. The newer silk cocoons are yellow. Thai and Japanese species have a white cocoon. It remains up to the farmer to choose which type of worm to farm. The farms are lined with nylon nets to prevent mosquitoes or flies from entering, and have floors made from concrete to help keep the garden well ventilated. The building is usually positioned away from direct sunlight. The life cycle of the silkworm is about 45 to 52 days. The silkworm will eat the mulberry leaves and then form a cocoon. Then it will eat and sleep 4 times. The body will shorten, turn yellow, and the worm will stop eating. During this period, the farmer needs to separate them and prepare the equipment to extract the silk. The time for producing the web is about 6 to 7 days. The silk will come out of the worm as 2 very tiny strands. The farmer needs to be careful not to tear the silk. Although most of the cocoon will be harvested for their silk, some will be allowed to complete their life cycle for future crop. If the worms complete their life cycle, it will become a butterfly and will drill out of the cocoon after 10 days. The raw silk first needs to be cleaned. This is done via steaming. Once the cocoon is cleaned and dried, it is boiled in pure water. After a certain period of time, the silk begins to fall away from the cocoon casing and floats in the water. At this point, the weaver selects a single strand of the silk and begins to slowly wrap the silk around a wooden rod. The weaver must be particularly skilled and patient at this point as not to tear the silk thread. Additionally, the weaver must be skilled at joining 2 pieces of silk together to make a single seamless strand. After all the silk has been collected, the wooden rod and the silk are left to dry. After a suitable period of time, the silk is removed from the wooden rod and placed on a large wheel known as a kong. The weaver does this in order to check the quality and texture of the silk. Each inch of silk is methodically checked for imperfections. If any area is unequal, it is trimmed off. At this point we have raw silk. As the silk thread is very fine and can break easily, it needs to be strengthened. This is achieved by twisting 4 or 5 individual strands together to make a thicker, stronger thread. After the new thread has been made, it is steamed once again to stop it from fraying in the future. To avoid being tangled together, the silk wool needs to be bleached using potassium acid. This is called silk soaking. It will whiten the silk, and then it will be ready to be dyed. Colours are from natural materials. Colours are as beautiful as the patterns from local fabrics. Mud mee fabric uses a dyeing method in which the fabric is dyed before the weaving pattern is made. The silk threads are bunched together and then tied off with rope, and then dyed. Similar to tie-dye, the areas that are constricted by the rope don't absorb the dye. As the dyeing is done before the weaving, the weaver must be able to visualize the final product in his or her mind. This skill takes many years to perfect. However, once mastered, the weaver is able to create patterns such as a hook, all of which can be achieved with this method. There are hundreds of patterns. Nowadays, weaving fabrics have become a famous handicraft of the Northeast. This trade is often the second source of income for local people. The Department of Industrial Promotions working with local communities to develop and design new patterns and new products. Even the type of fabric has been changed and adapted to the new demands, but the root of the weave fabric still comes from the local wisdom, which is the identity of the northeast of Thailand.